Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They totally did it. Oh no. Oh no. Holy cow. Holy cow. Totally did that. Totally did that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that's a yikes from me, dog. That is a yikes from me, dog. Holy cow. Holy cow. Turn that one on. Probably have to what's it called? Gonna get copyright claimed anyways on YouTube. Alright, but anyways, White Knight Chronicles 1 conquered. I did get final boss vibes from that fight, but it was just like, this can't be the final boss. There's no way that they would do this to us. Easy. Okay. Overall thoughts, I didn't really like this game. There's a lot of problems, from the gameplay to the story, to the writing, to the structure of how the narrative is playing out. There's just a lot of things wrong with this game, and it's kind of sad, because I think they have some cool ideas, and it's just not it's not packaged in ways that I feel elevate the strengths of the game, as far as like story, narrative, and gameplay. They just kind of have them in there, and they're like, figure it out, or we will tell you what's going on, with the nudge to the ribs, over and over again. People are evil. People are gonna die. But yeah, story, was it satisfying? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This was one of the most, like, I have played games where they have ended on a cliffhanger, and that cliffhanger has felt so painful, because it's like, holy cow, what an amazing cliffhanger. They built up to this moment for essentially the entire game, and then we get to this moment, and then they just let it go, and they're like, you gotta play the next game. And I didn't feel any of that here. That ending was so anticlimactic. There was no build up towards it. I feel like they didn't treat it right. There's so many moments throughout this game where they drop like this big story bomb, and how they approach it is like, oh yeah, here you go. This might be important. So, just here you go. We don't care. And that's kind of just how it felt. It's just like, yeah, we're just gonna do this. Kara being the Black Knight, that is a giga huge deal. An amazingly huge deal. And it's just like, oh yeah, Caesar, why don't you talk to Kara and say, like, that she's the Black Knight? Just casually. It's insane. It's insane. Holy cow. Did it feel complete? Absolutely not. This feels like chapter 1 of 4 chapters is done. There's still another night out there that I don't even think we've seen, Like, come on. How was the pacing? I would say, for the most part, like keeping on track the story and not really getting sidetracked, that kind of seemed like a thing. But as far as like the actual story pacing, it was not for me. I don't think it was very good at all. Thoughts on the story? The scene direction harkens back to classic JRPGs where villains and the princess we are trying to save or trying to rescue slips through our fingers through negligence, stupidity, and their ability to walk in cutscenes while we stare at them. This happens so many times. It actually happened to our advantage there when Kara was transforming into the Black Knight. We actually got to go rescue Cisna and take her to safety, and then we walked up to the Black Knight. We're like, we got you. I think that's probably one of the first times I've seen that occur. Have it be reversed, but it's so annoying to just see that happen over and over again. It's like, you guys don't learn. We had rescued Cisna, and then all of a sudden, after this big gigantic fight, this person's like, oh, sorry, I lost track of her. Which I guess makes sense now because Kara was working for the bad guys. But it's still just so stupid. Like, nobody else is paying attention to the only reason we're here, making sure that this person is safe and protected. Crazy. Kara being the Black Knight is a really nice reveal that I feel should have been a big deal. It's pretty weird, Bars. It's pretty weird for it to have been conveyed so casually with no repercussions or build-up. Same thing with Eldor being, like one of the ancient guys. I mean, sure, we basically pegged that from the very beginning, but like, you have to create the setup, and then you have to like, you have to build up the anticipation for like the big moment, and then you deliver that big moment in a big way, and you just don't do it casually. Don't set it up so it's just like an afterthought, and that's just what a lot of these things felt like. Kara being like, oh, Rizal is the brother, just like randomly thrown in there. Like, why would you do that? Gameplay mechanics and design. What gameplay elements stand out? It feels like there were some desires for it to be an MMO style game, but without being around for when the online was working, I'm unsure if it was effective or not. I feel as though it would have missed the mark because it doesn't have what makes MMO special, which is the social aspect. Running around in random places and seeing other players, grouping with them and chatting. Game seems to have that in limited ways based on what I could tell. Yeah, the game it's hard to, I guess, evaluate what this was supposed to be without actually having experienced what it was supposed to be. But I would say that the MMO aspect probably is a detriment, at least based off of the experience I got, which was effectively offline. I'm not sure it makes this game any better, but like I said, I haven't played it, so I'm just extrapolating, which doesn't really help anybody. Walking around is pretty darn slow. The maps in general are just way too large for no discernible reason. Yeah, and I was expecting to get like a fast travel method or something like that, so that I could, or or not like a fast travel, but like a mount or something, or like run boots or something like that, so that I can move faster. But that never occurred, so it was just running slow through these gigantic areas. Um, it was a lot. Looting items from boxes, flowers, cracks in the walls, etc. feels tedious. I don't see the need or desire to loot them multiple times, going through multiple animations to get one item at a time. Uh, this was obnoxious. I know that this is an MMO thing. When I played World of Warcraft, you go up to this little mining vein and you mine it. It takes some time, and then after you're done mining it, you get one item, and then you gotta mine it again. And you know what? Why is that there for a game like this? I have no idea, but it should be removed, and it should be removed quickly. I'm finding it very difficult to understand the benefits of the upgrade system. Spending resources to improve equipment that will be replaced during my next shopping visit seems counterproductive. On top of that, the cost investment to upgrade items seems kind of insane. Like you want money, you want like random item resources, like drops and loot from around the world and stuff like that. And then you also want to only upgrade one specific aspect of the particular weapon, which is adding either an elemental aspect to it or increasing the damage by like 1. It just doesn't seem correct. It doesn't seem correct at all. I didn't upgrade a single item in this game, and I think that establishes that there's a problem with the system when the system itself doesn't make any sense to utilize it to make yourself stronger. There's a lack of information that feels vital to the game, and I can't seem to find it in the game. There's no description on what stats do. This is critical in games where they utilize dexterity and agility because those basically mean the same thing. Finding out what sets them apart is necessary. Yeah, this was annoying. It's not even in the manual, which this game actually comes with the manual, which is, I think, kind of crazy because this game came out in like 2009. I think that was when manuals were dead or something. I think it's very, very important to know what stats do. I would even go as far as to say that knowing how stats interact with other aspects of a character is also very important. I want to see a like if I get a point in strength, I want to see how that affects my attack, my attack speed, any negatives, any positive, and things like that. That stuff is just very helpful. And when you don't give me that information, how am I supposed to know what things do? Different armor types offer different disadvantages. Cloth makes you squishy, leather slows your attack speed some, and heavy armor slows it down by a lot. There might even be more to this than I even realized, because I had Leonard with like the leather armor, but his attack speed was still giga slow. So maybe shields play a part in that. Maybe having a two-handed weapon plays a part in that. All information that would have been very helpful in figuring out how I want to build my characters. I'm also going to add that I didn't see any respec option in this game, and I feel like that would have been nice. If you're trying to be an MMO, put a respec option. Having to run around and talk to random people in the city to find out the next plot point trigger is frustrating. There's no identifier or clue to help. I got lucky on this a couple of times, but also a couple of times or once or twice I had to actually put in a lot of effort. And that's annoying. it's super annoying to have to do that. In MMOs, I get to see a little uh thing above the head to let me know, like, oh, I need to talk to this person. And this game doesn't have any of that. It just has a star let you know where the next cutscene is. Sometimes. Having to run. I already read that one. A little disappointing that there isn't a special something for maxing out a skill tree. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say the star is a little special something, but I wanted something, in the game that would, maybe like a little achievement or, like a stat bonus or something like that. From what I can tell, the bonuses or like maxing out a tree, there's no benefit to doing so. There's, on top of that, there's so many skills that I just don't understand what they do or why there's such a wide variety of skills when they all basically do the same thing. And I guess I'll transition that into combat and say that the damage ratios for a lot of the skills also don't make any sense to me. I didn't write this down, but if I spend 1 mana to do 200 damage, and then I spend 11 mana to do 300 damage, there's a problem there. There's, like, the investment to do 300 damage is not worth it, and it only gets worse from there. The most effective abilities that I have found is Slash, Strike, Armageddon. Armageddon because it attacks everybody, and Slash because it costs 1 MP and it's a slashing one, and Strike or Thrust or whatever it's called because it's a piercing one. Are you going to incentivize me using some of these other skills? There's a wind up to some of these skills where you have to like sit there and wait for the animation to go off, which in turn makes it so that your next action is going to take that much longer to trigger. It's I'm not seeing the benefit. For combat, it's also a little slow pacing for my liking. I'm not really a fan of just kind of like sitting there waiting for my little bar to come up before I can do something, and then once the circle is complete, then I can select my action, select the part of the body that I want to attack. It's too slow. It's too slow for me, and I'm a person who plays turn-based combat. If your action RPG is too slow, I think we have a problem. I wish you could queue up actions while the wheel is still spinning. I think there's a lot of problems around this spinny wheel thing. I wish you could select the body part that you want to attack while the wheel is taking up time to fill up. Feels like a lot of wasted time is dedicated to selecting where an attack needs to go. This whole wheel mechanic, you could speed up this combat by a very nice beneficial percentage by allowing you to do things while the wheel is spinning. Selecting the ability so that it's queued up and then it automatically goes. One of the things that I actually don't like is that, like, once the wheel is done, you then have to press the button to attack. And this isn't necessarily like something new or anything like that, but it just feels like the implementation in this game made me not enjoy that aspect of the combat, because it's like I already have the ability that I want to use. Like I'm hovering over it, but I'm just sitting there waiting for the ability, like the the moment that I can use it. And what's holding me back is waiting for this little circle to fill up. Um, it it's annoying. Um, so yeah, like being able to, like, while the circle is spinning up, maybe I press my slash button, and once the circle is done filling up, I'm gonna automatically slash. If I'm not in range, I'm gonna run up to the guy and then I'm gonna slash. If I don't put in a command while the circle is filling up, then it then I have that time to think or do whatever I need to do. And then once I press it, it executes it. I feel like that would have been a nicer implementation. And then, also being able to select the body part and stuff like that. When in those night battles, sometimes it's just like, okay, you have like 6 legs, a body, and a head. What am I going to attack? And to add on to that, I also wish I knew the importance of attacking other body parts. I don't see the immediate benefit. There are circumstances where you can attack the legs, I think, and they kind of like collapse and they lose evasion and things like that. But is that beneficial? Is just attacking the parts that you're going to do more damage to better? The likelihood that it makes an impact on the fight, what would that be? Am I having it so that the enemy skips 1 attack, 2 attacks? Is that worth it? The enemy's doing like between 50 and 150 damage or something like that. I have no idea. Enemies can attack my party from miles away through walls or from elevation differences where I can't attack back. This is annoying. This is an MMO thing for sure. And I did not enjoy that. For dungeons, I felt the dungeons. It felt like no matter where we were, the areas were just unbelievably large, for reasons I don't know, and I wasn't a big fan of that. For cardinal sins, backup party earns less experience. The percentage is unknown for this because it's kind of variable. Like people that are higher level earn less experience, and people that are lesser level earn more experience. But backup party members earn less experience, but if they're lower level, they might earn more experience. I'm not a math person anymore, so someone else can figure out the percentages, but fact of the matter is they earn less experience. They still earn skill points though, which is nice. Very nice. Some games don't do that. There's escort missions. We escorted the wine caravan at the beginning of the game. I'm not 100% sure the significance or the necessity of the escorting. I'm not even sure if I needed to stick with it, but you know what? I stuck with it because that's what I thought the quest was. Removing a key party member without sufficient replacement. Haro was removed for a very long time. And Eldor removed himself for a little while. And, it makes me so happy that I pegged those characters as, I'm not going to use these characters right now. One of them is just crazy suspicious, and I think he's going to leave my party. The other one, she can't use long swords. So I will just use her as a backup. And that worked out for me nicely. For miscellaneous sound music, I actually like the music choices and a lot of sequences in this game. I enjoyed quite a bit of like battles and and walking around these giga large areas and things like that. Um, uh, to listen to the music, because some of the music is really nice. For voice acting, I think the voice acting is okay. You know, I don't have anything problems with it. For graphics, I think the graphics look fine. I'm not 100% sure if this game has like a screen tearing thing inside of the game, or if that's just a me problem. But there's a screen tearing problem, and I have no idea where it originates. Replay value. Does the game offer additional story content in a second playthrough to warrant playing the game again? I'm going to say probably not. I might even go as far as to say incredibly unlikely. But we can check here. Probably going to take some time. Uh, I guess if the developer is watching, the answer to that question is no. Actually, there is a star next to that. Come on. New game. The campaign over again from the beginning, but with your same character, companions, levels, and inventory except key items from your saved game. Bleh. Alright. So yeah, I would say no. I don't think this game is worth replaying at all. I'm honest, I don't think it's worth playing. If the developer is watching, I think this game just has a lot of things that don't really vibe with me all too much. I think the combat could be improved immensely if you could just queue up your actions. I think the night battles could be a little bit more enjoyable to experience if you can move the camera, you know, a little bit over their heads so that you can actually see what's going on a little bit better. I think the the important moments of the story should really be given important emphasis on them, and just not kind of treated as like, I don't want to say jokes, but something along the lines of, you know, something not so serious. Um, you know, I want to see a build up to a cool reveal. I want to see characters react to these cool reveals and feel betrayed or excited or surprised. Um, I didn't feel like there was any of that in this game, because some of it just happened out of the blue. Sometimes it just didn't make any sense. And other times, you know, the game just like abruptly ends. Even though you could evaluate that ending and say, yeah, you know, like, yeah, the game's gonna end right there. But after playing this game, it's just like, the game is ending right there. Are you kidding me? It's insane. Um, I definitely think that um there's room for improvement for the second game. I have a feeling that the second game is not really going to make those improvements, but we'll see. I we'll see. Maybe I'll get around to playing the second game. I will definitely say that I don't have it interest in doing so. But yeah, to reiterate my overall thoughts, I didn't really enjoy this game all too much. Um, it it was something, I guess. It certainly was. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for me for today. I also feel bad for Grayson playing this game. I The idea of me choosing this one would be a fun time. But I'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific. I'll be playing something. I don't 100% know yet. But yeah. See ya the next time I see you. Peace.